Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me. This is so draining, isn't it? But it's crazy. Anyway, here we go. Monday, October 16th, 2023. First of all, let's start off on a light note because I have so much really serious stuff to talk to you about. My plant, okay, I got a lot of advice from you out here, what to do with it. I feel bad for the poor thing. I'm trying to take care of it. I did take your advice. Most of you said, put it outside, give it some sun, which I am doing. I am hoping to rehabilitate my poor plant. Um, are you having any problems hearing me or seeing me? This is like a little bit of a new setup. So just so I can get a handle on this real quick. Yes, the guitar has moved, so you can obviously see me pretty good. You can hear me all right, everybody? Excellent, excellent. Excellent. You guys and girls are just so freaking phenomenal. People, look, okay, let's talk a little bit more. This market today put on some nice gains across the board. This really shouldn't surprise anyone. As I have explained to you, the effect of more liquidity being pulled into the system is going to have pretty much the same effect as quantitative easing. That is, when the Fed is, printing cash out of thin air, buying all the debt here. Understand that this is not going to fix the problem at all. This is nothing more than a Band-Aid. I've been explaining this to you for I don't know how long now. It's a temporary fix. And now the 10-year yield, which is the benchmark, it's the key, the debt market, the key to this entire thing, didn't do too much today. All right. Overnight, we watched the risk in this market, according to the MMRI, Mannarino Market Risk Indicator, again, free to everybody, link in the description below, put on 5 points, but it stayed rock solid all day. On the back of that, the dollar on a relative strength basis did fall. This is exactly what the market wants to see. This whole thing, wars, expanding wars, I hate saying this because people take it the wrong way. It's bullish here. It's bullish for the market. That's what it's meant to do. It's the illusion. It's the illusion of the market. Again, liquidity. What's going on here? We are in a full-blown, full-on, off the freaking Richter scale liquidity crisis. We have witnessed, you and me, the largest sell-off in the bond market in history. All of a sudden, bam, let's start a new war. We'll fix everything. Okay, it's a Band-Aid. It's a temporary thing. It's not going to last without an expansion of war. More pain, more suffering, more death on an unprecedented scale. That's what it's going to take to stabilize the debt market, for cash to make its way into the stock market. And thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. And you're part of that difference. All of you here are part of a really big thing, at least in my view. We're making a positive difference in the world. Exactly. Fear means buy bonds. You guys and girls, why am I even sitting here? You're so much smarter than I am. It's the truth. I've been telling you this forever here. Anyway, so that was the story today with the stock market. On the back of what Janet Yellen said, you know what? Let's do this. Janet Yellen, the thing, whatever it is, okay, yet to be defined. I don't know. You guys and girls could come up with whatever this is. Janet Yellen, okay. So Janet Yellen had something to say. She's a war expert now, by the way. So Janet Yellen says, are you ready? The United States can afford to support two wars simultaneously. Thank you, Larry. But you see, what Janet Yellen is actually saying, so just let's keep this in mind. Janet Yellen is saying, I'm going to repeat it because it's important. She says the United States can afford to support two wars simultaneously, but what she means is the U.S. cannot afford to not support two wars simultaneously. This is the mechanism right now to pull liquidity into the system to make it appear that it can still function. You understand? Without this mechanism, and you know this, all of you, for over 10 years, how the system works, how they're going to do things, throw things at us that we can't believe, we can't dream of, we can't even have a nightmare about, to create situations where cash must be pulled into the now. This is what's going on. She can, look, I'm going to go on to read what I wrote here. These things And I call them things. For those of you that get offended, you might want to hold your ears. Janet Yellen is a thing, okay? And she can never, ever tell you the truth. There's no accountability. You understand? War, the expansion of war, the propagation of war is the business of government, quote unquote, or in this case, the Federal Reserve, who is the government. What she thing, Yellen, cannot tell you is the entire system is illiquid. It is rapidly running out of cash. War, fear, terror, suffering, and pain is the mechanism by which they can pull liquidity into the system. Now, this it's important stuff. Again, it's in your inbox. I want to read a couple of other things to you. Thank you, everyone, for supporting my work. Spinderella, I appreciate that. That's fantastic. You guys and girls are great. Now, how many times have we been warned? I put this out yesterday in my newsletter, and I don't know how many of you actually saw this, but you hear a lot about this guy here, General Smedley Butler, Marine Corps General Smedley Butler, the most decorated Marine in history in his time. This guy understood the system. This guy received the Medal of Honor not once, but twice. Okay. General here. Now, this is what this guy has to say. Most of you know, he is famous for saying war is a racket. But that's the tip of the iceberg. There's a couple of paragraphs here that I want you to pay attention to that belongs to. And tell me if you think this guy got it right. Okay? Are you ready? This is U.S. Marine Corps General Smedley Butler. War is a racket. It always has been. It's possibly the oldest, easily the most profitable, surely the most vicious. It is the only one international in scope. It is the only one in which the profits are reckoned in dollars and the losses are in lives. A racket is best described, listen to this part, I believe, this is him speaking, as something that is not what it seems to be to the majority of the people. Now, I just came across this exact thing yesterday. I've been telling you all this, that nothing what it seems to be. Well, this is a guy here with, I would say, a lot better connections than I have, who's explaining the situation. So a racket is best described as General Smedley Butler said, as something that is not what it seems to be to the majority of the public. Only a small inside group knows what it's all about. It is conducted for the benefit of the very few at the expense of the very many. Out of war, a few people make huge fortunes. So, I mean, I think the guy nailed it to the freaking wall. All right. But I do want to hear from you on this. And I want to bring something else to your attention. I have more stuff to talk about. You and I have spoken for how long, that how they would use the geopolitical situation to blame. Again, it's look over here. It's their fault. This is the reason why we're seeing inflation. This is why the world economy is melting down. They're setting the groundwork, people, and it's a grand deception. And you and I proudly called it out before it happened. But they're setting it up right freaking now. Let me cover this with you. This is also in your inbox, again, if you subscribe to my newsletter. Groundwork is being set up for the blame game, another grand deception. Now look at this headline, okay? Israel-Gaza conflict threatens to reawaken. Look at this word used here. It's, these words are not chosen just by random. They want you to believe that inflation is better and it's all gone. As we already know, this is not the case by their own numbers. It's rising and rising and rising, but reawaken, okay? U.S. inflation, and investors are I guess, concerned about this. How about if you didn't know that this was going to happen? Well, obviously you aren't a follower of this blog or you're freaking brain dead. Now, let me read this, okay? They are setting up yet another grand deception, a scapegoat. And this is right out of their playbook, people. It's a blame game. Okay, remember, the Federal Reserve and a loving, caring, good for absolute zero representatives here, they must remain blameless. It's not their fault. Okay. Inflation has already outpaced. Think about what I'm going to tell you. Ready? Inflation has already outpaced every single projection, every one that has been made by the Federal Reserve with regarding where inflation would go. Just as we have called it since the very beginning. We knew this was all a lie. It wasn't temporary. It wasn't transitory. It was going to go up and up and up. What's the goal of central banks? What is the goal of every single central bank on this planet? To inflate. And war gives these institutions the opportunity to inflate on a grand scale, more so than any other endeavor on this planet Earth. Anyway, we called this. We said there would be a scapegoat from the very beginning. You remember all that? Okay, anyway. And this war is going to be used to twist the minds of an unknowing public. You want to know a secret? I'm going to tell you a secret. You know it already, right? Regardless of anything else, people, my beloved friends, all of you, okay? Inflation is going much higher. All right. And I think this is a no-brainer because, again, what's the goal of central banks? Well, I just told you, to continue to inflate, to create mechanisms out of nothing, to print cash, to add it to a digital screen, to foster wars and everything else that you can dream about. And they're not done. Oh, they are not done. We've got warnings now about terror attacks here in the United States on U.S. soil and everything else. They're setting it up. And we are going to pay for this, not just with our pocketbooks, but with our lives. Okay. Anyway, regardless of anything else, inflation is going much higher. But now the Federal Reserve, in direct collusion with congressional leaders, they couldn't lead themselves to the bathroom to take a piss. Okay, that's the truth, right? Have given themselves an out. They've given themselves an out. Raymond, thank you. Thank you very much. Blame the war. And of course, let's not forget. I mean, I just have to bring this to your attention one more time. What Janet Yellen said. Yellen says the U.S. can afford to support two more simultaneously. What she won't tell you is we cannot afford not to do it. We must do it. Why do you think, honestly, that we're funding wars everywhere, especially these last two, with a bottomless pit? We can fund any war in any amount, at least these last two, according to the thing of Yellen, but we can't fund the government. They kick the can down the road. Again, as you know, why are we paying taxes? What are these things doing? Okay. Again, where's the accountability? Well, someone here let me know because you're a lot smarter than I am if you can figure that one out. Anyway, going back to the market, rallying the market, no surprise. This mechanism, war, death, pain, suffering on a biblical level, okay? This is going to push more cash into the stock market. It's going to have the same mechanism as quantitative easing. That's what this is meant to do. The illusion of the markets. How many years have I been telling you this? The illusion of the markets is going to be kept real at all costs. They'll kill millions. They will kill millions of us. We don't matter. You realize that? We don't matter at all. Claudio, thank you, buddy. You got it. You see where we are. I know I'm preaching to the choir here. I know all of you get it. And I want to thank you for those thumbs up. I know we can improve on 634. Let's do something about that, people. These thumbs up are very valuable. Okay. You get these videos get thumbs up. YouTube shows them. You understand? No, Fatal 9998. I don't want to get killed, but I do worry. Let me just say this while we can talk about anything. If something just happens to befall me, like, I don't know, suicide or something, I didn't do it, just so you know it. Okay. Look, you and I, we're a threat to the system. This is the resistance. This is where the resistance starts, and they know it. The most dangerous thing, holy moly. Oh, Heath, thank you. That's unbelievable. Thank you, buddy. Anyway, the most dangerous thing is knowledge. Okay, understand. If people understood a tenth of what we discuss every day right here on this blog, I really do believe there would be a revolution. Okay, a worldwide. But truth is dangerous. Exactly, Joe. And we are a threat. There is no greater threat, none, than people who can engage their brains. Why do you think, for example, Every effort that you can think about, dream about, fantasize about, and have a nightmare over has been put forth to dumb the people down, to keep them stupid. What do you think? You think that's, see, let me explain this to you. It, for a lot of people, it's not an easy thing to think. It's a frightening thing to think, because once they engage their brain and their brain starts to feed them information here that maybe seems a little maybe abstract, or maybe it just doesn't fit the narrative that the programs are putting on them. Program, lie, twisted distortion, deception. Once people are able to think even a little bit out of the box, the world becomes a frightening place. People like you and I, all of us here, all of us here that are here right now, okay, uh, have an enormous advantage over those kind of people, because you see, we can look fear right in the face, and then we can say, okay, what's this? What does this all mean? Okay, if you're afraid, and there's a lot of people who are against me, they're against this blog, they're against all of you. They call us whatever we are. We are, okay, because we're a threat to them too. We're a threat to the way they think. They must be kept in the box, and it's the most simple thing to do. Okay, the programs, the television, all this stuff is designed to keep people from thinking. And I've been telling you for how long? All I want people to do who listen to this blog is think. Think about the things I cover, the things I put out in my newsletter. Does it connect the dots for you? Do you see what's going on? Or no? I mean, you're allowed to disagree with me. You're allowed to disagree with me. And I want to hear from those of you that think I'm really off base. But I think gauging from where things have gone with this channel, all of you here, we're doing the right thing. Okay, when we're making some noise, and that makes us a threat. That makes us a threat. We are dangerous, and they know it. You think they're not watching every single one of us? You don't think there's somewhere out there people watching this video? I happen to know. I'm not even going to say that. I happen to know. Should I do it? I happen to know that at least one person in the FBI watches this video, and I'm sure is watching right now. All right, people. Anyway, before we move forward, did I finish the market? Cryptocurrencies got bid much higher today. All right, no surprise. Eventually, you know how this is going to work. What's going on right now is, again, a Band-Aid effect. It's not going to last. It's a temporary, without expanding the war, without more people dying, without more pain, more suffering. The debt market sell-off will resume, and risk in the market will climb. That will put pressure on the stock market. If, in fact, let me just say this too, okay? Look, we're all on the same page here, I think, for the most part. The MMRI, my little neat little tool here to gauge market risk, we are clearly in the red zone. Last time I looked at it, we're at 310. If they can manage to keep risk stable, even here in an extreme risk situation, and they can expand the war, this is stock market positive. The illusion of the market will be kept real. Again, the illusion of the market will be kept real. Thank you. 310.3. They can keep it there without wild swings. Okay, we've had an unbelievable sell-off in the debt market since April. The MMRI has gone up 110 points since just April. Okay, and we watched what happened to the stock market. Now we're seeing the product of, hold on a minute now, we can't allow this to happen. The timing of this is just unbelievable, what we're seeing here. Okay, and this is exactly what we've been warned about. This is nothing. It is what it seems to be. Question everything, people. Question everything. I'm telling you. Look, like I said, you don't have to agree with me, and it's fine if you don't. But just engage your brain a little bit, and you'll become a threat. You will become a threat. I don't know if you want to be a threat, but we are definitely threats. Those of you that have been with me for a long time, we are a threat. We are a huge threat, because it's getting bigger every day. This blog is getting bigger and bigger every freaking day. It's quite a phenomenon, honestly. It really, really is. Dollar today, as I said, fell on a relative strength basis. Stability in the debt market. This is definitely stock market positive. It's going to act like quantitative easing for the market. If this keeps up, there is no doubt that no matter how big this war gets, I guess, unless it goes nuclear, this market's going to go higher. As more people are going to die, as we said, okay, many more people are going to die. And the more people that die, the more people who suffer, the more people who are caused to suffer here, the higher the stock market's going to go. It's an incredible thing. And tell me again, who funds these wars? Where does the cash come from? See, Janet Yellen here that says that we can afford 2 wars. Let me ask you, when she's interviewed or this kind of thing, why is it that she's not asked, well, where does the cash come from? Because she wouldn't even know how to answer that question. See, that question will never be asked. The next FOMC meeting, when they float out the thing, puke, yellow stain, vomitous mass, and he tells us how our economy is doing so well and we're fantastic. Someone needs to bring up where the funding comes from for the wars. You see, but that will never be allowed. That will never be allowed. Maybe someone can sneak that kind of a question through. Possibly, I don't know, but that person would probably, be some kind of a horrible accident would befall that person as well. You know how it works here. I think we're pretty much on the same page here. Debt jubilee. How about no? Well, I'll answer a few questions here. The system is run by debt. The system demands that more debt is pulled into the system. In case you're not paying any attention to what's going on here, it's debt that's fueling the market. It's debt that's fueling the wars. Okay, you want a debt jubilee? I don't know. It ain't happening. Okay, I don't know who's trying to sell people that whole lie. Never gonna happen. There's no such thing. Okay, debt it can move from one place into another place. Okay, like Biden with these student loan things. That doesn't go away. It's on your back. It's added to the federal debt. Do you understand? It doesn't just vanish. You can't just say, poof, it's gone. It's gone. You don't owe any more money. Well, maybe the person doesn't, but we all owe it collectively. You understand? You're not allowed to know that either. You see, because whatever the thing wants to do, they're going to do. And they're going to pile that onto the federal debt. That's all this is. All these forgiven student loans, you own them. You own them. You think there's a free lunch? How about no? And these people that now don't have to pay off their loans, watch what's going to happen to them. They're going to go out and melt their credit cards, and they're still going to owe and become slaves to the system. Right, Christine? Thank you, Christine. How does it happen? Because we allowed it to happen. We have allowed it to happen. That's why we're a danger. That's why we are a threat, because we're raising awareness. We're allowing people to understand what's happening to them. I don't know another way to put it. It's crazy. Anyway, yes, exactly. The war chest is on a keyboard. Brilliant. Absolute. Live low and love it. The war chest is on a keyboard. That is a fantastic comment, and that's absolutely true. It doesn't exist. Okay, there's no nation on this earth that has a war chest. The people, you know this already. Do I have to say it? That wars are funded by the central banks? Both sides, all sides. That's why she says we can afford it. We can afford. Can you afford? Can you afford this? Do you think we should be funding these things here right now? This is only going to get worse. You think this is just the beginning? They're already setting up a multi-billions of dollars in weapons packages and everything else for Israel. Oh, Ukraine too. And whatever else they want to do. This is all being set up. And you're paying for it. What is that? There's something strange going on in this house of dwelling. Go check that out. Anyway, you need a gun? What? Hey, people, listen, I got to cut this short. I'll just go find out who that is. All right. Hold on a moment. You don't have to open the door, There's no rule.
Whoever it is, they're gone.
All right, they left. Good. Whatever it is, we don't want it anyway. Yeah, I'm a little scared. I'm a little nervous here and there. No doubt about it.
What you said, they're sending people to check up on you.
All right, anyway. Anyway, people, what else you want to do? What else you want to cover here? I don't know what else to say. We got this down. Let me just say this. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for support, for your love, your friendship, and everything else. We're making a positive difference to the world, and that makes us a threat. You cannot make a positive difference in this world and not be a threat. You must comply. You must follow the rules. You must be led to the slaughter. If you're one of us, okay, who's outside, who has the ability to engage their brain just a little bit, you become a threat. And we are definitely a threat. People, this guy, he loves you from the heart. Again, thank you all. I will see you in the morning. We'll cover more of this stuff here, but I want you to comment. I want you to think about these things. I want to hear what you think about Janet Yellen, the general over here. How many times have we been warned? How many times? It's just the grand deception here, the scapegoating. Oh, look over here. Look over here. That's why you're seeing it. The resurgence. It's gone now. Inflation is going to come back. You see, that's what they're setting it up. They really think that people like you and me don't exist. In other words, that there are people out here who can think, people out here who can engage their brain. But they're wrong. But they are so freaking wrong. Love you a lot. I will see you in the morning. Okay, everybody? Take care of each other. Love each other. It's just so freaking important. All right? I'm out of here.